Hey, today the devs just dropped a brand new free cape. We've also got news that the developers have officially begun their summer break, and I'll explain why there's no need to worry about that. We'll also take a look at Arrowhead CEO's post about ideas and go over the galactic war news about the Major Order, but that's not all. There's even more to discuss. If you enjoyed the content, please show some love by tapping the like button below. I'd really appreciate it. Let's jump right in. Alrighty, Helldivers, we first have to talk about the brand new free cape that just dropped. It's called Ingress-81. This was just announced on the Helldivers 2 Discord by Baskinator, the community manager. And you might be wondering, well, what does it say on the back? It says Decon. And who the heck is Decon? Well, Decon is right here. He's a bot, program guy, whatever you want to call it. He basically programmed all of the bots on the Helldivers 2 Discord, as far as I'm aware, and he also did a lot of the programming for the ARG for Space Station 81 and whatnot, all that stuff that we basically participated in about, a month or two ago. So he's basically the reason for all of this, and it's just incredible to see the developers give a shout out to him, and that's exactly what it says. If you have any thoughts about this, let me know in the comments. I think it's a pretty cool cape. But yeah, and also it will take some time before it arrives in your account, so give it some time. Let's go ahead and move forward because we've just failed the latest Major Order, as you could tell from this failure message. So essentially in this message right here, basically we could tell that High Command informed us, hey, they took control of the DSS facility on Clarel, which we already know. But in the second paragraph, they talk about how the automatons had a second motivation for the assault, such as the fact that we destroyed the Jet Brigade factories onshore bay about, maybe a year ago? It's hard to remember when it happened. Maybe you'll let me know in the comments. But yeah, this is pretty much what just happened, and we have indeed failed. But we'll see what happens in the next big Major Order. Hopefully we'll get some of our own vengeance and revenge all the fallen Helldivers. Moving along, we've got news that the Helldivers 2 developers at Arrowhead Game Studios have finally taken their summer break. This might worry you if you recall about what happened last year. However, I'm happy to inform you this time around there shouldn't be anything to worry about. Before I explain why, let's check out the official post from their social media account, where they shared a message with an image of a Helldiver relaxing on a beach chair, holding a Freedom beer. At the top of the post, they wrote that the team has begun their Swedish summer break protocol, featuring 2 weeks of fika, tactical sunbathing, and lakes. They explained that this 2-week break is nothing to freak out about as the galactic war continues and Super Earth still needs us. They also noted that they'll be back after the break. Now I know 2 weeks might seem lengthy, so where does that leave Helldivers 2? Have the developers or the Arrowhead team just up and left without working on the game? Not at all. They've got a skeleton crew in place to work on Helldivers 2, addressing any bugs, dropping updates, and continuing to release major orders. You might also be wondering if it'll be the same situation as last year. No, it won't be. We know this because earlier this year, Arrowhead CEO Shams addressed this on the official Helldivers Discord to reassure fans and players alike. He explained that he took the liberty of organizing this summer break to ensure it's structured properly. The studio will shut down for 2 weeks, and he made sure to notify the team to take their vacations before this period. He also noted a tighter concentration of staff out of the office during this time, and that most will be back on August 4th, next month. So it seems this time around they've got everything organized properly, and there shouldn't be anything to worry about. I wanted to clear up this information so you're aware of what's going on and that there's no reason to think the game won't receive support during their break, as it will indeed be supported by the skeleton crew at Arrowhead. With that post out of the way, let's go over a recent post about how Arrowhead receives so many ideas that it's not that they can't react to them or implement them right away, but rather it's an issue of manpower. They simply don't have enough staff to work on these ideas and get them out quickly and efficiently. We know that's the case because Arrowhead CEO Shams responded to a player who mentioned having 30 pages of ideas. In response, Sham used a Star Wars reference to explain the situation. In a post on the official Helldivers 2 Discord, he replied to a player saying they receive a ton of ideas, or in his words, a bajillion ideas a minute. He clarified that it's not a lack of great ideas, but rather a lack of manpower, even quoting Grand Moff Jerrod's line from Star Wars, "I need more men." I've previously discussed something similar, noting that this is one reason they can't get as much done in the studio. They need more team members to help create patches, content, and so much more. Now, the obvious question is, why don't they just hire more people? The reason is that it's best to take a slow approach to hiring. If they take on too much by hiring too quickly, it could lead to bigger problems down the line, such as potential layoffs, which we know is not a good idea or something that's favored by any means. We've seen several studios recently let go of many developers and other staff working on various parts of games. I think the CEO's approach is a great way to manage workload without overcommitting and getting overwhelmed, essentially avoiding getting lost in the sauce. Finally, the last post I'd like to cover is from Shams, who agreed that the galactic map needs a better user experience to clarify what's happening and how the mechanics work in general, which I'm sure many of you agree with. There needs to be a better way to motivate Helldivers and guide them in the right direction during Mage Orders, especially considering we recently lost the last Mage Order. Ultimately, many players are unaware of how the Gambit mechanic works, or which planets are better to attack. I'm sure there's more I could cover, but those are some of the key issues that need better explanations, or at least a clear way to direct Helldivers on where to go. I've seen a comment before where someone said that when the Democracy Space Station orbits a specific planet, a large majority of Helldivers act like moths and are instantly attracted to that planet. So overall, I'm not sure what they could do. We've all discussed how there needs to be better incentives, but besides better incentives, what else could they do to motivate players to participate in Major Orders more often? If you have any ideas on how they could improve the galactic map, let me know in the comments, and let me know if there would be any differences if they improved the galactic map. Let's talk about it. Next up, let's talk about a bug in Helldivers 2 that currently allows you to be essentially undetectable by enemies. This bug was mentioned in the recent known issue list, and if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. You'll need the M102 Fast Recon Vehicle, aka FRV, and the Lift 182 Warp Pack from the Control Group Warp On. Once you've called both down, enter the back of the FRV to control the HMG turret, then use your Warp Pack to leave the turret. At this point, as shown here, you'll be able to roam around without enemies detecting you. They won't attack or react to your presence, allowing you to move freely without an issue. I'd like to give a shout out to a Discord member named Health Inspector for sharing this tip to me. Just know that this bug was also mentioned on the known issue list, as I mentioned before, that it can cause some desync issues, and that's why this is popping up, and the developers are likely working to fix it, so it may not last long. We're now switching gears to discuss a post claiming that the anti-material rifle took a hit and was apparently nerfed. We know a recent patch increased the durability of Scout Strider legs. In this post, a player noted that previously you could one-shot Scout Strider legs with the AMR, which is true. They pointed out that after last Tuesday's patch, the AMR feels nerfed. I hadn't tested this myself before, but after seeing this post, I decided to check it out, and surprisingly, it's true. You can no longer one-shot Scout Strider legs with the AMR. This might be an unintentional nerf, as the developers likely didn't account for how boosting the Scout Strider's legs durabilities would affect the AMR's performance. Regardless, it now takes 2 hits to the legs to take down this enemy. If you have any comments, please post a response below, and let's go over it. Lastly, we've got the top 3 comments. First, with this Helldiver right here that pointed out that megacities for automatons are way too dark, and that when they drop in, it feels hard to navigate around. They even mention how the flashlight is useless due to all the smoke and smog that lights it up. And to be fair, you're not wrong about the flashlight. It is a bit too crazy at times, and I've seen a lot of comments in the past that have pointed that out as well, especially during my test videos. The second top comment is by this Helldiver that pointed out that the word realism doesn't feel like the correct word to use, considering in the recent Warbond we received basically a black hole that, tears the hole in the fabric of space. So yeah, that's a fair point. There is a backpack that allows you to do that. I've got no idea why it's a mix, right? Some things are supposed to be realistic, some things are not. I don't understand it either. Maybe there's a reason behind it. Who knows? The third and final top comment is right here, and shout out to you. I've seen your comments quite a lot in the past, and you've been featured quite often. You pointed out how crazy it is to get one shot by a fire devastator and the damn fog, which you cannot see properly. And yeah, you guys have pointed that out before. Actually, the top comment did. So yeah, they need to adjust how the fog system works and how the overall environment works, to be honest. Anyways, I genuinely appreciate you watching these videos. Thank you so much for your support. If you haven't already, tap the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications. Again, if you haven't already, I appreciate everyone from the subscribers, notification clickers, and members, and even the lurkers, everyone. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.